Good evening, everyone. My name is Nathaniel Bickman, and welcome to Campus Nightly. Tonight, we will be covering the tightening race for New Jersey governor, the new $100,000 fee for H-1B visa applicants, and the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel's late-night show. We will also have a special guest, who is the current visual media engineer for both the Fahey Hall and University Center TV studios, as well as being a part of our advisory team, Jake Zimmers. This is Campus Nightly. To begin, the gubernatorial race in New Jersey is heating up as Election Day nears. According to a recent Quinnipiac poll, Democrat Mickey Sherrill holds 49% among likely voters, while Republican Jack Ciattarelli is close behind with 41%. That leaves nearly 1 in 10 voters undecided, a number large enough to shift the outcome in either direction. Sherrill's lead has narrowed from earlier surveys, suggesting momentum for Ciattarelli in suburban and shore counties. Both campaigns are heavily investing in door-to-door outreach and advertising ahead of the upcoming debate scheduled for later this month. Political analysts say this election will be a critical test of whether New Jersey maintains its Democratic leadership or sees a shift towards Republican control. With both sides energizing their base, voter turnout will be the deciding factor in one of the closest gubernatorial races in recent memory. On a more broader international scale, the White House has introduced a new policy that significantly changes the H-1B visa process. Beginning September 21st, U.S. employers filing new petitions for foreign workers outside the country must pay a $100,000 fee. This unprecedented cost does not apply to current H-1B holders or those renewing visas, but is intended to discourage what officials call abuse of the program. The proclamation, issued Friday, has already drawn sharp responses from technology companies and immigration advocates. Critics argue the fee will make it nearly impossible for small firms to hire international talent, further straining industries that rely on specialized skills. The administration says exceptions may be granted in cases of national interest, though details remain limited. The policy takes effect immediately, creating confusion for workers and employers already navigating one of the most complex visa systems in the world. Coming up after the break is our last sports segment on Campus Nightly with Austin Coon, as SHU TV proudly announces our newest sports show, The Hall Zone, with the first episode airing tomorrow, September 25th.
As one of America's leading Catholic universities, Seton Hall is creating graduates who are ready for anything.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready to work in the ICU.
To work in the big leagues.
To be a leader.
To teach special ed. To make my mark.
To volunteer in Micronesia.
To improve health around the world.
To get my master's.
I'm ready to make a difference.
To spread smiles.
To help others.
I'm ready for anything.
Seton Hall. Imagine what great minds can do.
Welcome back to Campus Nightly. The men's soccer team defeated Providence in a 2-1 victory this Friday. The Pirates scored 1 point in each half, led by Augustine Resch and Till Koshka respectively, ending in them securing their 3rd win of the season. Next, they will face Marquette on September 27th. The women's soccer team traveled to Pennsylvania this Saturday to face Villanova, ending in a score of 0-1. The Pirates worked hard, but they were unable to recover from an early goal by the Wildcats, leading to a loss. They will be coming home on September 24th for the game against Georgetown. The women's volleyball team fought hard on Friday against Maryland, with freshman Sadie Wright getting a career high of 23 kills, but their game ended in a score of 0-3. They will be in Walsh Gymnasium on September 26th for their game against Georgetown. Reporting for SHU TV, I'm Austin Coon. Back to you, Nathaniel.
In entertainment news, Jimmy Kimmel's late-night talk show was suspended by ABC. The decision came after a controversial monologue in which Kimmel criticized conservative media's response to the death of activist Charlie Kirk. Network officials, under pressure from major affiliate groups and the FCC, decided to pull Jimmy Kimmel live from the schedule. ABC, owned by Disney, announced that staff and crew will continue to be paid through next week. As of Monday, September 22nd, Kimmel returned to the set. But yesterday, Tuesday, September 23rd, the 38 ABC stations owned by Sinclair Broadcast Group will not be airing the new episodes and will be replacing it with news programming. Discussions with ABC are ongoing as they evaluate the show's return. The move has sparked a larger debate about free speech, political pressure, and the role of late-night television in shaping public opinion. Industry observers say the suspension is one of the most significant shakeups in late-night TV in years, raising questions about whether political commentary will face tighter scrutiny moving forward. Coming up after the break, we will have an exclusive interview with Jake Zimmer, so stay tuned.
I would tip. It's okay.
Was it rolling?
Oh yeah, that was great.
Welcome back to Campus Nightly. Please welcome our special guest, Jake Zimmers. It's great to have you on the show, and we'd love to hear about who you are and how you got to Seton Hall.
First of all, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here. So a little bit about me and my background. I come from a live production and studio production background, primarily in the world of athletics. 3 different schools over the first 6 years of my career, Lafayette College in Pennsylvania, Glenville State University down in West Virginia, and Wagner College over on Staten Island, where I earned my master's degree, got my undergrad over at Kutztown University in Pennsylvania. And after a year and a half back home in Pennsylvania, I really missed the world of higher education, and that is why I came here to Seton Hall. Specifically, I work as the visual media engineer. Myself and my colleague, Lily Giannoni, we are the technical points of contact for the TV studio over in Fahey, so we help out a lot with the studio production classes and serve as technical support for those classes, and the digital cinema field production classes, sign out equipment. We're just getting acclimated into this space as well, which we're really excited to jump into. And also working with the Shoe TV team as staff advisors, which we're really excited about. And we had a semester of seeing what was being done here, and can't wait to continue to see it grow.
Sounds amazing. And as you said, you've been working in sports for some time now. Just wanted to ask, what was the craziest game or experience that you had?
That's a great question. In terms of specifically on the field, I point to Wagner College Homecoming 2021, double overtime thriller. We had it was called by Seton Hall alum John Fanta, and being able to work a game with him was certainly something. This was right as he was kind of continuing his rise through the Big East, Fox Sports. Obviously now he's with NBC Sports, and really cool to see what he did. But to work a double overtime game with him, seeing how animated and passionate he was going calling touchdowns that were closing out the fourth quarter, and then overtime, then double overtime. It was something really, really cool. And then crazy behind the scenes. It's always something different, right? Like it's the Forrest Gump quote, like life is like a box of chocolates. Production is like a box of chocolates. I'm a big preacher of Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong. And so, 9 times out of 10, everything's going well, and then all of a sudden you have somebody call out last second, or a camera that needs some troubleshooting, or what have you. So it's just about being flexible, acclimating yourself to your environment, and also just kind of not stressing out about anything, and just to a degree, and just kind of taking it one step at a time.
Very cool, and we'll definitely touch up on Murphy's Law later in another question. But since we're on the topic of college athletics here, one of the many things that you've done here at Seton Hall was organize kind of like a broadcasting sports camp, and just wanted to ask, how did it go, and how was the experience?
The experience was awesome. So the sports broadcasting camp has been around since 2000. I think it started out under the tutelage of Bruce Beck from NBC New York, and also the great Ian Eagle, who NFL on CBS, NBA basketball on Prime, the voice of the Final Four on CBS this past season. Over time, the three people that we ended up working with this past summer was David Cerroti, runs a PR firm here in New Jersey, not that far away from here, and also Dave Popkin, New Jersey Sportscaster of the Year, and Tim Capstraw, one of the voices for the Brooklyn Nets, one of the Iron Men in basketball broadcasting. And for north of 20 years, that camp took place up at Montclair State. It ended up coming here for the first time, and we had a blast. About 2-3 months of planning. Myself, Lily, and our boss, everyone's boss, Chris Aurelio, from over at WSOU. And we all worked together with public safety and the Daves and their team to bring north of 90 kids to Seton Hall in late July, where ages ranging from 10 to 19, different camp experiences, hearing speakers such as John Fanta, Kenny Albert from Fox Sports, Noah Eagle, Ian's son, who does a great job with college football and now NBA coverage for NBC. 4 days on campus, and it culminated with on the 5th day going to the Somerset Patriots, covering a baseball game there. All the kids, sat together. They got to meet people involved with the team, but then also, got to sit there with their phones and call a game ended up being a doubleheader. So kind of calling the games to themselves, and we recorded stand-ups with them, and it was really a lot of fun. I got my start working behind the camera, and I think probably dozens, if not hundreds of games over my career. So to be able to kind of affiliate with with both sides of the camera was a lot of fun, and we're excited to see it progress, and hopefully they'll be back next year. We can just continue to grow on it.
Amazing. And as you said, the kids calling the games, I'm sure that's an experience and a half for them. And actually, a follow-up question to that, we spoke a little bit off camera, and you mentioned specifically broadcasting logistics, and you brought it up a little bit here now, especially with Murphy's Law and everything. And I just wanted to ask, how does broadcasting logistics work in a systematic fashion? And then also, is there any time where it actually went wrong and Murphy's Law was put into effect?
There's definitely been times where it's gone wrong. I've been a big preacher, and I learned it from my first supervisor in this business, John Sabino over at Lafayette College, about, you'd rather be there. They tell you in any aspect, right? Better be there early than late. But especially you give yourself an extra bit of padding in the event that something goes wrong. Like I said earlier, you never know when a camera operator you're going to have wakes up and they're not feeling well, so they can't come in. Or you have a commentator who's stuck in traffic coming from Long Island to Staten Island, and then what should be a 45-minute commute turns into north of 2 hours. The one example I always point to as like Murphy's Law really hitting me, it came early on in my career. I was a production assistant over at Lafayette, and we were working a 3-game baseball series, I believe against Holy Cross, and it was my sort of time to shine. I had my own sports that I was directing and prepping stuff for, but that was me directing a baseball game instead of working camera, working graphics, something like that. So, there was I think a 12 o'clock first pitch. We got there at, I think, 9 a.m. We're moving equipment. We had everything set up, ready to go at least 90 minutes before first pitch. They had just switched to a new setup of communication, where the baseball stadium's 1.5 miles off campus. But thanks to the IT team and communicating, I was able to direct from the athletic offices and communicate with my camera ops on site 1.5 miles away. And that was the first instance of the mic lines failing less than 90 minutes before first pitch. So you try your normal, shut off, turn back on. Nothing was working. You don't have enough time to call anybody to help us. So I had a college friend of mine who was running camera. and I shot him a text message and I said, I'm going to call you real quick. I'm going to call the game over the phone. So grabbed the office phone, dialed my friend's number, threw him on speakerphone, and directed a 2.5, 3 hour baseball game over the phone instead of headsets, which may have been a bit of a precursor to now, like, people can direct games through Zoom and things like that. But it was just that sort of in the moment being like, okay, as much as I would like to figure out a solution, we got to think quickly on our feet. We don't have time to mess around. And it was a lot of fun, and it came out well. And then, of course, the next week we restarted everything and it came on fine. But again, always, I'll look right here, always preaching Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong. Never forget that.
It's a very good rule, especially for many students like myself. And it sounds like you definitely should have patented the phone mechanism that you had there.
Yeah, right.
You know, who knows what would have came from that. But just lastly, to sum it all up, we're talking about all these broadcasting idols, and I was just wondering if there was anybody just in your life in general who you had looked up to before or after your career.
In terms of productions, a lot of my idols come in front of the camera. I think of just like the play-by-play voices that I heard throughout my life, which was why it was really cool to have the sports broadcasting camp. But I would say, in terms of my work ethic, I think I would point to both of my folks, as kind of cliche as that might sound, but I watched them work through and persevere so much in my life. They taught me the importance of giving your word and sticking to it, and that's something I've tried to stick with throughout my career. And I think without that knowledge and without them supporting me, I wouldn't be in this position. And certainly the other the supervisors and things I've had along the way, but without my parents, I wouldn't be here.
That is it for us tonight. Thank you for watching. Reminder to watch our newest addition to the SHU TV name, The Hall Zone, created by Senior and SHU TV Sports Director Gino Granato, airing on Thursdays at 7 p.m. with the first episode coming out tomorrow. Again, my name is Nathaniel Bickman, and this has been Campus Nightly. Have a good night.